Mobili. Top rare super motorcycles from the 1990s are very scarce nowadays. What we're going to do is take you back, right back, to the 1990s where the fashion was vivid, the music powerful and the motorcycles bangin'. Here's our personal pick of 10 of the best, in chronological order. 10. 1998 Aprilia RSV Mille. Our final decade-defining bike of the 1990s is another longitudinal V-twin and, sadly, yet another failure. After the RS250, by the mid-1990s ambitious but until then lightweight Italian manufacturer Aprilia was ambitiously eyeing compatriot Ducati's superbike success, so decided to build its own. The resulting RSV Mille was powered by a powerful, 128 brake horsepower, Rotax-built, 60-degree V-twin which was held in an exquisite, polished aluminium frame with top-spec cycle parts and, slightly unusual styling. It was more powerful than Ducati's 916, better equipped, more comfortable, worked well both on road and track, and spawned an impressive, hastily developed family of Aprilia V-twins including the SL1000 Falco, RST1000 Futura and, later, the ETV1000 Capanord. Aprilia had ambitions to be Italy's Honda. 9. 1997 Honda VTR 1000 Firestorm. If anyone needs any further indicator of the success of Ducati in the 1990s, not only with its 916 but also with its Monster and 900 Super Sports, they should look no further than the spate of Japanese Ducati copies towards the end of the decade. The ultimate was arguably the Honda SP1 which debuted in 2000 and won the World SBK crown first time out, but there are earlier bikes which were arguably even more significant. First, in 1997, Honda came up with its take on the Ducati-style road sports V-twin, the VTR 1000 Firestorm, a brilliant bike even if early versions were blighted by a too small tank. But then Suzuki wound up the wick first with its flawed TL1000S, then with the full-on sports version, the TL1000R. Both actually proved disastrous due to a combination of slappy-happy handling caused by flawed rear suspension and, in the R's case, too much weight and weird styling. 8. 1996 Suzuki GSF650 Bandit. Bikes that do it all yet are also bargain-priced and desirable or rare. In recent years only Yamaha's MT-07 has managed to achieve it all. But the first, coming in the 1990s, was undoubtedly Suzuki's brilliant Bandit 600 of 1996. A brilliant blend of affordable but more than adequate off-the-shelf components, chiefly the GSX 600 FS 4-cylinder engine, were repurposed as a simple but smart roadster that was fun, versatile, both a great first big bike and an adequate commuter and, best of all, cost just £3,999. As one magazine's cover line of the time said, laughing all the way to the bank. Suzuki then cleverly followed it up with a half-fared version and two similar 1200s and, perhaps unsurprisingly, all were big hits. 7. 1995 Aprilia RS250. As well as the 1990s signifying the last post for sports 750s, the decade also delivered the final flourish for those much-loved loonies 252 strokes, and the best, certainly of those officially imported in the UK, was Aprilia's brilliant RS250 of 1995. With an RGV 250 V-twin engine, fine handling, and gorgeous, polished aluminium frame, top-spec cycle parts, mouth-watering styling and a GP racing pedigree that included Loris Reggiani and Max Biaggi, you could even buy the RS in a Max replica Chesterfield color scheme. The RS was another of those bikes that, simply, had it all. Yes, Japan-only grey imports such as Honda's NSR 250 MC28 and Yamaha's V-twin TZR 250 are also have strong claims as ultimate 250 stroker, but the Aprilia was the most accessible and arguably best all-rounder. 6. 1995 Bimota DB3 Mantra. Think 1990s motorcycles, and I defy anyone to come up with something more symbolic than Bimota's bonkers and yet brave and somehow brilliant DB3 Mantra. The Italian specialist's first Ducati engine bike since the brilliant, company-saving DB1 of 1985, it was, unusually for the sports-focused firm, a roadster based around the air-cooled 900SS engine and, considering the success of Ducati's own 900SS powered monster which came out the previous year, great things were hoped for it. Unfortunately, however, the Mantra's styling, by designer Sasha Lakic, which included air intakes it didn't need, a pouting fairing and, most infamously, a classic car-style walnut dash, was considered far too extreme, as was its £13,000 plus price tag, when the monster cost around half that, and sales as a result were poor. 5. 1994 MZ Skorpion. Street supermotos weren't the only big four-stroke singles to be fashionable in the 1990s. There was also, albeit briefly, a bit of a fling for single-cylinder sportsters, too. Gilera's 500 Saturno first emerged in 1990 but, although cute, didn't really catch on. Then, from 1994, and partly fueled by the then popular sound of singles race series, more followed, including Ducati's gorgeous, race-only Supermono of 1995, Yamaha's oddball but entertaining SCR 660 of the same year and, arguably the most significant of them all, the British-designed but German-built MZ Skorpion of 1994. Originally intended to be badged BSA, don't ask, it's a long story. It was designed by Seymour Powell, the same UK outfit behind the styling of the Norton F1 Rotary, had a novel glued frame, punchy 5-valve engine, from the Yamaha XTZ 660 Trailer, handled well, was good fun and reasonably cheap. 4. 1994 Ducati 916. Yes, it's been said a million times before, but no motorcycle of the 1990s is more celebrated, successful, and symbolic of that decade than Ducati's simply iconic, an overused word, but appropriate here, 916. You surely know the story now, so we'll skim over it. The updated successor to Massimo Bordi's masterpiece, the already hugely successful Desmo Quattro-powered 851/888, was penned by design genius Massimo Tamburini, with, he admitted, more than a little influence from Honda's NR750, was distinguished by its sexy slim styling, underseat exhausts, and single-sided swing arm and, conveniently, was perfectly placed to exploit the then WSB racing rules to the max. Britain's Carl Fogarty, with 4 1990s crowns, benefited most. But there was also another for Troy Corser and a last hurrah in 2001 for his namesake Bayliss. 3. 1993 Yamaha YZF750. Sad to realize it now, but the early 1990s also saw the final fabulous fling for that once most brilliant sports class of all, 750s, and arguably the best of them all, certainly in mass market terms, was Yamaha's 1993 YZF. The 750 class had been a thing ever since Honda's original CB750 superbike of 1969, followed by the creation of the F750 racing class, and then cemented in stature by the likes of Kawasaki's H2 Mach 4, Suzuki's GS750, Yamaha's XS, then even more so with 1985's GSX or 750 and Yamaha's FZ. The launch of WSB in 1988 on a production 750 formula took things to the next sporting level, inspiring the RC30, OW01 and more. But the best 750 sportsters of all came in the 1990s with the ZX7R, YZF, RC45 and GSXR SRAD. For our money, the YZF, although a latecomer, was the zenith, with gorgeous styling, including typical 1990s color schemes, a free-revving 120 brake horsepower, 6-pot brakes, exquisite Delta Box chassis and so on. 2. 1992 Honda NR750. Before we had the Suzuki Hayabusa and the Kawasaki ZX12R, there was the Honda NR750, the original hyperbike. While our friends in the East have built their reputations on building durable, good quality, function, dull, motorcycles. Now and again a small group of engineers get drunk, let their hair down and design something a bit bonkers. The most extravagant V4 Honda ever created, the NR750 was the successor to the NR500 and, at the time, probably the closest thing you could get to owning a GP racer for the road. Using a 90-degree V-angle configuration that featured an elliptical piston with curved long sides, was also drizzled with innovative of-the-era tech. 1. 1991 Yamaha TDM850. Yamaha has a habit of coming out with off-the-wall twins, TR1, TDR etc., and they did it again by kicking off the 1990s with this oddball, super tenor-derived street trailer. Although never a great success, surviving an enlarged 900 form right up to 2012, it was actually a decent bike with funky looks, 77 brake horsepower, entertaining handling, impressive versatility and, with hindsight, was years before its time. Today's mega-popular tracers share more than a little of its DNA, while Honda's imminent, Africa twin-based NT1000 is a shameless rip-off. At the time, though, testers didn't know whether to wear road or motocross boots and confused smart Alex dubbed it the TDM.
I hope to inspire you and help you learn more about your favorite theme. Subscribe to my channel and let me know what you think.